I'm Frankie Berger, and I'm in the Government Relations and Advocacy Office in Washington, D.C., and I handle state and local government relations. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about meeting with your member of Congress. It's a little bit intimidating for some people, so I just wanted to walk you through how to schedule the meeting, how the meeting's probably going to go, who you're probably going to talk to, and then some tips and advice on how to deal with that. So you're either coming back from a GV trip and you've had this great international experience with Habitat, or you've gone out on a build with your local Habitat, or you've volunteered in some other way, and you have all these great stories about the impact that Habitat is having in the community, and you want to share this with your member of Congress. So how do you do that? Well, one way is to actually meet with them face-to-face, and you can either meet with them in their district office or you can meet with them on the Hill in Washington, D.C. It's up to you, and there are different reasons for doing both ways, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. So a district meeting takes place in the district office. It's either in one of the state offices for a senator or in one of the district offices for your representative. The folks there can be contacted directly. You can just call the office that's closest to where you'll be and ask to set up a meeting and talk to them a little bit about what you want to meet with them about, and that you're calling because of Habitat for Humanity. And set up a meeting with a staff member there that deals most closely with the issue that you want to talk about. It'll be a less formal meeting, and it will definitely be with a staffer and not the member of Congress. But these staffers have direct links to the member, so I would still recommend scheduling a meeting there to meet with the local staff. In order to schedule a DC meeting, which is sort of a different type of meeting, it's going to be more formal. You might be meeting with the member of Congress or the staffer. You want to call this number. This is the Capitol switchboard, and it's the operating service for all of the Hill. And so all you have to do is either give them your zip code or the name of your member of Congress if you know it, and they'll connect you directly to the office. The first thing you want to say when you're connected with the office is that you're a constituent, because members of Congress care only really about their constituency, which makes sense. You're voting them into office. So make sure that you say that you're a constituent and that you want to talk to the scheduler. The scheduler is the gatekeeper to the scheduling of the member of Congress, and that's who you're going to need to schedule your meeting with. Make sure when you get on the phone with the scheduler you have a concise statement about what you actually want to meet with the member of Congress about. Talk about the issue, maybe mention the bill number, but don't get into the weeds about it then. Say that you want to meet for 15 minutes. 15 minutes is sort of the magic number. You might end up taking a little bit more time, you might end up taking a little bit less time, but 15 minutes is a really good number to ask for because it's sort of the perfect amount of time to get your issue across, but it doesn't waste anybody's time. I would also recommend asking to speak to the member of Congress or the housing staffer, because it's pretty unlikely that you'll be able to actually meet directly with the member of Congress. There are votes that are not scheduled until the hour. They have varying travel schedules. It's pretty hard to make sure that a member of Congress is present in the meeting, but do make sure that you're talking to the housing staffer or the foreign aid staffer or whoever's actually handling the issue that you are concerned about. These are a couple of before meeting tips. The most important thing that you can carry with you is a one-pager on the issue that you want to discuss. The one-pager keeps a nice, clear, concise statement about what you actually care about and what you want to convey, and also the impact of whatever the issue is or the concerns that you have on people at large, a country that you're concerned about, and also the member's district. That's very, very important to try and bring it home to the district. Make sure you research the bill numbers and voting history. If you have a specific piece of legislation you want to talk about, it's always easiest to be able to talk about it by the bill number instead of the name. The names can differ from Senate to House side. Make sure you know the number that you're talking about so that they know exactly what bill you're talking about. And do a little bit of research. It just takes 5 minutes to look into what the voting history of the member that you're going to speak with is. And that'll give you a little bit of a perspective about how they'll feel about the issue that you want to talk to them about. Dress nicely. I know this goes without saying, but you don't need a suit. That's fine, but just make sure that you dress respectfully. because a lot of people don't, and that already gets you a little bit of a write-off in the office. Timing is everything. Make sure that you try and keep whatever you're going to say down to about 10 minutes if you have a 15-minute meeting, because you want to allow them to say and respond to whatever you're talking to them about. So please be conscious of your time. This is something you might find yourself asking in the meeting. Wait a minute, where's the member of Congress? I was scheduled with a member of Congress, because sometimes you will be, especially coming on behalf of Habitat for Humanity. The members really do try and meet with us. Habitat has a great reputation and has bipartisan support, and a lot of members really do want to meet directly with us, but sometimes they just can't. And the person who ends up in the meeting is likely going to be either the legislative director or the chief of staff, or the person who handles housing policy. These people are the policy experts in the office of the member. They are their eyes and ears to all the issues that are going on. They give legislative advice. They help guide bills and policy through the office. These people are very, very important. So if you can convey your issue to them, it's just as successful as having a direct line to the member of Congress, because they'll convey your message for you. In meeting tips, please don't use acronyms. A lot of members of Congress and a lot of staffers aren't going to be familiar with all the acronyms that you are, so try and at least, if you use acronyms, spell out what they are. If you're talking about an international issue, try and bring the issue home. If there's something that's happening in housing elsewhere, try and parallel it to what's happening in the member's state or district. There are a lot of similarities and a lot of differences, but if you can draw on those, that actually makes your point a lot stronger. Non-committal is normal. It might get a little bit frustrating if you can't get a response on how somebody feels about the issue while you're in the meeting, but that's completely normal. They might still be considering the bill or what their response is going to be to a certain piece of legislation. Just keep that in mind, but make sure to follow up with them after the meeting. Don't press them on it in the meeting. Less knowledgeable staffers can be useful. Staffers are usually tasked with a handful of different areas of expertise, but there are so many different pieces of legislation and types of policy that are going through that they can't be experts on every single one. But if you can present yourself as an expert, then you might be able to be a very useful insider for them when they're looking at these pieces of legislation. Let them know that they can check out GV Trips. Encourage them to look at the website, give them some information, and encourage them to visit their local Habitat for Humanity to see what they're actually doing on the ground and what is happening in their community. Post-meeting tips. I can't tell you how important it is to grab all the business cards of whoever you met with. Any staffers that you met with, the legislative director. Make sure that you grab the card for the scheduler, because they all have the magic personal email addresses on them, and you can use those moving forward for any sort of follow-up. You'll have a direct line to the staffer that matters. Write a follow-up letter to the congressman and to the staffer that you met with, thanking them, and then reiterating everything that you wanted to cover in your meeting. Give them more information about things you didn't necessarily get to touch on, and summarize what your understanding of the conversation was. So that's it. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Frankie Berger, and my email address is fberger@habitat.org, and please feel free to reach out to me about any questions you might have.